Generating traffic and sales can be a challenge for online merchants. But selling on the Walmart Marketplace puts your products in front of millions of customers who shop on Walmart.com. And right now, sellers who join Walmart Marketplace can save up to 50% on referral and fulfillment fees for the first 90 days. So get started today. Head over to marketplace.walmart.com/savings. That's marketplace.walmart.com/savings.
Welcome to E-Commerce Conversations, a podcast by Practical E-Commerce.
What is going on, Internet? Eric Van Holtz back again with another E-Commerce Conversations. I hope all is going well on the other side of the Internet. On the other side of the Internet from me is the one and only Judy Fox. Welcome.
Excited to be here. I feel like we're on a radio show where I'd be like, welcome to Fox Rocks with Eric Van Holtz.
The listeners can't see this, but we both have like fancy mics in front of us.
I'm impressed by the fancy glasses you have hanging.
Oh, yeah.
Your shirt.
I should make this my thing. So I'm wearing these Rocka wear, ROKA wear. And they're neon yellow on the bottom and blue lenses and pink on the side. And I custom made them. Like Rocka has like, I'm a sucker for that. Like any website that allows me to customize anything, I'm doing it. I'm like paying the premium. And I'm like, I got to have that one of one.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel like I just dropped into an 80s party though.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the vibe I'm taking the brand in the future too. So
that's awesome. I'm down for it.
I got to live what I'm selling. So speaking of living what you're selling, you are like, what is the title? Like the queen of LinkedIn, the king, the tyrant, the
fox.
The fox of LinkedIn. I like that.
Yeah. I am crafty like a fox, creative like a fox. I'll just lean all the way into my last name.
Yeah. You got the foxy ears as well that you will wear.
I do.
You've got about like 20 different foxes in the backdrop.
Yes. And I bought a couple of pairs of fox ears before the pandemic. So when I went to conferences, everyone could put on their fox ears and take a picture, which I thought was really fun.
Yeah. And people know who you are.
Yeah.
So you're a brilliant marketer, clearly. And I'm super excited for this call because everyone talks about LinkedIn. Everybody talks about, TikTok. Everybody talks about, the new social media is or the new marketing channel. But like LinkedIn, I feel like is this lost opportunity. And it is like a great opportunity where if you're selling high-end premium products to professionals, you can just absolutely explode on it, right?
Yes, definitely.
Tell me a little bit about, like your platform, how you're using it, how you've built it, a quick, like kind of a run over of what LinkedIn's about.
Well, LinkedIn started for so many people as probably more of a job board concept where if you got started anywhere from the early 2000s, I joined in 2009. I think we were just talking and you started a group in 2008. So when you're starting from that point, you're most of the time thinking from the job, the normal corporate economy, whereas now we're in the gig creator economy, which is completely different from how we used to think in 2008, even when I joined. So basically I joined during that economic crisis because I lost my job.
Yeah, me too.
Surprise, surprise. I was 10 years into a corporate Fortune 500 company, thought, you climb the ladder. I'm going to be just like my dad who worked at the same company his whole career. And that's what you're supposed to do and have a pension. I had a pension.
Oh, weird.
I know, crazy, right? And that economic crisis hit pretty hard. But the way that I took it was join LinkedIn. Like literally 2 days after I got let go, I joined LinkedIn. And I packed up all my belongings into a storage container and I traveled around the world and I networked that whole year, not looking for a job, but networking and telling people, well, technically I'm traveling. I'm in Germany right now. I'm in New Zealand right now. So I became more interesting than needing their job or needing what they needed, which turns out that's actually the time to talk about needing something is when you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
So I created like a limiting energy where I was like, I'm actually not going to be back in the US till December of 2009 or wait, now I'm like getting all my numbers, but you see where I'm going.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was gone for almost a whole year from the beginning of 2009 to the end of 2009.
Well, I mean, I used to be a financial advisor, so this is where you echo the importance of having savings and the freedom that it gives you in the event that something like you do lose your job happens. I assume, you're living off savings, or like, how did you make means meet?
So this was back when I didn't even think about creating kind of a rental property, but basically what I did was I turned my townhouse that I then packed up and started renting it out. It was a nice townhome. It was like a higher end townhome in a college town. So basically I was renting it to temporary adjunct professors or anyone kind of coming into town for a short stay. That was really, really smart. So yeah, so I didn't have to worry about that. I had saved up 10 years of miles on airlines. So that's how I paid for things. And then when you got to the different locations, we had either found places to stay using, what was it at the time? Craigslist
Mhm.
and all these different options, because that was when people were starting the concept of, oh, wait, I have an in-law suite, or I have this part of my house that's not being used. So I ended up in some pretty nice properties, yeah, to be able to stay in.
That's pretty cool. You said you're networking while you toured the world. How are you finding these networking events? Was it through LinkedIn or?
It started off with the idea that I would talk to 2 people a day on LinkedIn. So either 2 people I already knew. That's the key. You don't always have to constantly chase brand new conversations. Circle back to somebody you knew in college, a roommate from 10 years ago, what have you been up to? Be interested in them. So that's the first thing I did was I made a list on an Excel spreadsheet because I'm an engineer. And I made a list of everyone I knew, their email addresses, their phone numbers, and just started going down the list and connecting with them on LinkedIn. If I couldn't find them on LinkedIn, I would send them a message email the old way.
Yeah.
But I kept saying to everyone, I had a few key lines where I said, hey, I'm getting more active on this social media or this platform called LinkedIn. Are you on there? And so I grew my connections to that kind of 500 plus level, just doing that the first year.
Yeah. So like 500 plus is kind of when they quit keeping count, right? Or it would just show up as
That's the last you can see somebody's connection level. And then, of course, now they have followers that you can see people's followers. But I really like that you can't see how many people I'm following. So it doesn't create that social media follow unfollow vibe on other channels where I'm like, I have this many followers, but I follow 0.
right. Well, so how many connections do you have? Do you still connect with everybody, or have you gotten to the point where you're changing the way you manage your connections?
Yeah. So now the world has changed since 2009 to now. So you can probably message somebody you wish you could message on LinkedIn. You can just go find them on a million other channels to be able to send them a message. And the easiest thing I have found is to let people now more follow. So my button on LinkedIn is follow. And actually LinkedIn wants that now. So we can talk about that. But the connect button is still there. They just kind of bury it a little. And what that means to me is it either takes back my power to send out connections when I really want to connect with somebody, like I connected with you and you finally accepted, or the other opposite, where people send me a connection message. It took them a little extra work to find the button and get to it. And so I don't feel like I'm getting as many connection messages and I'm just getting more followers.
Yeah. I mean, this is where I shamelessly admit that I only log into LinkedIn like once every month. Like it's kind of weird. Like when e-commerce founders will kind of sympathize with this, is just like, you get hit up a lot to buy services or products from vendors, and like it gets exhausting. Like I don't want my experience on LinkedIn to just be, hey Eric, I want to sell you this, I want to sell you that, I want to sell you this. It's just like, I love building relationships, and so it's like almost like filtering through the connections and being selective with who I connect with nowadays. However, I came from, the old school where you connected with everyone because, like, if you were a second degree or a third degree connection, that gave you the power to message people or get their email contact. So I don't know if,
or be one more degree separated from like Kevin Bacon or something.
Right.
Like I reached a point where I was like, I'm going to connect with Kevin Bacon. So I would be the 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon.
is he on LinkedIn?
Yes, he is. And I'm only 1 degree away.
I wonder how many degrees away I am from Kevin Bacon.
I have the most random, fun projects on LinkedIn. I think I've sent him a connection message, but he didn't accept.
Oh, there's a lot of Kevin Bacons. I don't know which one's.
Oh, yeah, you got to find the right one. I mean, he's on TikTok, so you never know. Kevin, if you're listening.
Yeah. Probably unlikely he's listening to an e-commerce conversation. So I want to talk about, like, what are the tools that you can use on LinkedIn to be able to market yourself or to market your brand? And, like, how do you create content that will perform well on LinkedIn?
I'll give you 2 strategies for changing how you think about the content you post on LinkedIn. Number 1 is it has a leadership voice, because people say all the time, I'm a professional, and I call that word professional. It creates LinkedIn frozenitis. People are like, I don't know what to do. I have to be professional. But if I interacted with somebody in real life, if we went out for a drink, if we hung out and we met up at an after hours thing, go to a sports game, what is professional? I mean, hopefully we're joking, having a good time, maybe having a beer, which I'm totally fine with. So it's this idea that professional is always tightened and buttoned up or something.
Yeah, inhuman is almost like the way I would describe it. It's just like
it comes across
cold.
as spammy or pitchy, or now you're just a brochure and you're like, I offer this and I solve these problems. So we would more enjoy people who show up with a leadership voice. And I'm going to break down the 3 voices that do really, 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 really well. One is just be a curious leader. You're somebody who makes posts that generate so many comments because you come across as curious. Curious, what do you think about this new website for e-commerce? Be a curious creator of content, and that will generate. People love making comments under those posts because it makes them look smart for commenting. So next up is the kind of the creator language, where you might actually give people the 2 steps you would take today if you're going to start your e-commerce store again, or some type of lesson learned. If I was going to go back in time, here's what I would have done earlier in my career with investing, or something where you give us a little bit of like lesson, but not I know it all. And then the final one is just be a coach, be a resource voice, be somebody who is the breaking news of your industry. Even if you think everyone else has broken it, maybe nobody broke it on LinkedIn. They've broken it on Twitter. They've broken it on Instagram. But on LinkedIn, we just don't see the breaking news. And if you become that resource, you actually can grow a really nice following as that person.
So I think about LinkedIn, from my perspective, I've got obviously e-commerce conversations where to me it kind of makes sense. There's going to be a lot of other entrepreneurs on here, a lot of other business people who would be interested in listening to the show. I think a lot of people who connect with me listen to the show. But I also, in the founder of Beard Brand, like, is there an opportunity for me to market Beard Brand as this direct to consumer, product company where I'm like, talking beard care? And of course I could talk about beard care in the professional environment and things like that. Or is it just like too far removed? Like, I really don't know, because I don't spend as much time on LinkedIn as I should, maybe.
So I will tell you, to me, instead of looking out there to see what somebody else has done, you would be entering into the blue ocean where you would be the only one talking about it, presenting it as an option. And I'm being a little sarcastic, about to be sarcastic. Do you think there's men on LinkedIn that have beards?
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I'm curious.
So it's like, I know the audience is there, right? But like, will that content be able to engage with the audience? Because I know there's this feed and stuff like that. It's almost like a Facebook for business people. And then like Beard Brand sells to, like professionals. We call them urban beardsmen. So to me, it does seem like it makes sense. Like, we tried like posting from the Beard Brand account without any success at all. Like, that was just one view, literally like one view per video. So I don't know, like, is it best to just do everything through personal accounts?
Do it through your personal account and then share the personal stories. So say, for example, you talked more about, what did you call it? Urban
beardsman, right?
Urban beardsman. So you might talk about the story of how that got started, or even just the name, the origins of the name, and how the community has formed. You could turn that into a hashtag. Are you an hashtag urban beardsman? And that oh, it gets so exciting. That allows anyone who wants to be visible along with you and along with the brand on LinkedIn, you actually can gain a really, really powerful audience that way. How has leveling up your beard helped you at work?
Yeah.
Do you think your beard has gotten you a promotion? That would be a fun post. It would be a fun opening because I feel like that's some of your brand is having that good energy of wordplay and urban beardsman. And I can see where you could make a post like that to engage. You have to have people who are diehard fans of your products and they have to be on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, like half of the non-sales connections are, a half of them listen to the show, and then the other half are like watch your YouTube videos, and like you can tell too, like they have great beards and they look phenomenal. You can always tell a beard brand customer because they just
Could
look.
you do a beard of the week spotlight on LinkedIn where you spotlight a professional that is rocking an awesome beard at work?
I mean, well, that's the thing is like I could do anything. To
Mhm.
me, it's just like what is the strategy from the brand? Like when I think of like building beard brand, it really does seem like it's more influencer based in LinkedIn, right? So it's just kind of like these, influencers, right? And you've grown, you have like 38,000 followers on LinkedIn. And like, how do you grow that audience? Like, where are these people finding you?
So it really started from being like, here's one of the things I keep thinking is you would turn your audience into your people who would promote and post about you. It doesn't make it, it's like having Sarah Blakely. She doesn't need to get on and talk about her products. She's talking about her office space that she built, her community, or maybe an opportunity she got early on in her career that launched into different relationships and decisions. So if you were giving us a glimpse of yourself and saying, here's what it is to be a urban beardsman, or here's the start of this started in, it's like the origin story of it started in my garage, whatever, what is your origin story? We love that on LinkedIn. So what you were saying is, how did it start for me? It became from a place of, I just wanted to start talking with my peers, like as if we were at the lunchroom. And I wanted to be like, are you all sick of these goal sheets that we have to make? Are any of those actual goals you want to make? That was my first post. It went to like 12,000 people where I basically said, I'm kind of tired of corporate goals. Do any of you I've been doing it in my own bubble. It reminds me of TikTok. I've been doing something in a bubble without knowing what the wider world was doing. And was anyone else out there in the corporate world kind of sick of these year after year, the same goals circulating in your life, and none of them are yours? It's all just, it just felt really empty after all these years. And I used to be so excited about my goals at work. And then maybe I got burned out on the goals. And I put that video out there and it went to like 12,000 people and people were sharing it. And then I was like, whoa. So then I started making more videos like that, having an opinion. It wasn't like, oh my God, I have a super hot take that was controversial, but just anybody else, anyone.
Yeah. So let's get into like kind of the weeds a little bit. Like, is it better to post photos, links, videos, just text, or is there any kind of difference in that?
I will say it matters more that you create a trusted pattern, because I'm always thinking long term. I have a master's degree in sustainability. So that is where I'm always coming from, just so you know. You can chase something for the short term. And yes, I think if it's an early adopter moment, maybe go for it. Go for YouTube shorts, go for a reels, go for the immediate impact from something that just launched. However, on LinkedIn, the platform will get used to how you want to show up. So I've seen somebody go from zero. Every single Monday, she uploaded a 1-minute square video repurposed from Instagram, and she grew to 22,000 followers in a year and got top voice in the sports category that she was in.
So it's more just about that consistency, building that audience, creating content that your audience is resonating with. Are you posting daily, or what's your flow look like?
So when I think of consistent, it's less about the date and time and every week or every day. That to me is not consistent. What is consistent that she did was she had a consistent tone. She had a consistent amount of value she gave in that video. She happened to do the same visual, the same framing. So we recognized her every time. So it's less about picking Monday at 9 a.m. and every single week doing it, but more about recognition, brand recognition, and expectation that your audience knows that when you post, it's going to be super awesome or whatever it is you've created. So for me, I have what I call my audience expects spontaneity, and that is actually being consistent, Judy.
Yeah.
Which sounds funny, but I wanted to build a brand and an energy that allowed me to create season 1 of Judy Fox, take a break, come back out with season 2 and be craveable.
Right. So like you kind of have like these hills and valleys of when you post just based on your natural energy. And then that way you come across as authentic because you're posting when you're in the moment to post rather than feeling like you have to post.
Yeah. And in between, I have found what serves me as the most accessibility generator for myself. And that is I run a consistent every single week, every single Wednesday room on Clubhouse, which sounds really funny, but show up where you can easily serve. So for 1 hour a week, that has served me like crazy.
Yeah. I want to talk about your profile a little bit. We had a call a couple of weeks ago, and you talked about this featured section. And I mean, of course, not logging into LinkedIn. I had never heard of it. Right after that call, I went to my profile and did my featured stuff. Like, what are the things that your profile has to have done in 2022?
Ooh, so the very, very first thing I would do for 2022 is turn on the creator mode toggle button on your profile. Are you looking at your profile right now, Eric?
I was looking at your profile, but
okay.
Let's look at mine.
But you can look at mine because mine has creator mode turned on.
Yeah, mine's turned on.
Woohoo. So what you get with creator mode is you get a 30-second video instead of just a picture of yourself.
How do I do that video? I didn't see it. Is it under the edit profile or?
Yeah, to trigger it, you have to, when you turn on creator mode, you have to go to your hub. And I think you have to do it first on your cell phone to be able to trigger it.
Oh, I need LinkedIn
That's the
app.
problem.
That's the problem. I only have the website.
You got to have the mobile to just upload the first video and then you can do it from your desktop. But
oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Well, they want people to install the app, I guess.
I think because who knows what the UX design on that was, but the very first video has to be uploaded from your cell phone.
Okay.
There you go.
So that's why I couldn't find it.
Yeah. The next thing you're going to get is they have a 10-second audio for you to pronounce your name.
Okay.
But it's interesting. I have like 3 calls to action within 10 seconds. I was like, hi, I'm Judy Fox. Follow my hashtag, go to my feature section. Like I was like packing 10 seconds of like the most insane call to action. My audience thought it was fun. So That's my vibe. I probably had like 2 cups of coffee or something when I recorded that. And the next part, you can pick your hashtags. So I've got my hashtag Fox Rocks, and that has grown to over 1,000 people that follow that hashtag, which means I'm at the top of their news feed every time I post. So that's super exciting.
So when I'm looking at my profile, it says talks about, these are the hashtags you talk about. So this is where you put in your own custom hashtag. Yes. So I should put in like Urban Beardsman or something like that.
Yes, exactly. So you can start growing. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah,
so
keep on growing. That's my whole tagline. Jeez.
And then the next feature that I love on the profile now is the bell feature. If you notice in my banner, I say ring the bell and I have an arrow down. I don't know if you're able to see my banner.
Well, now I got to go back to your profile. I'm not smart enough to have 2 windows open, but
it's okay.
Now I am. So
do you see the bell?
The bell. Oh, yeah. Oh, and you got the arrow right there. Yeah, next to the LinkedIn Premium.
Yep. So you can click on the bell and get notified every single time I post.
Wait, so how do I get that bell on my profile?
Oh, let me just see if you have it. If you have creator mode turned on, you should have it. But let me double check that you have it triggered.
I mean, maybe I guess I just don't get it for myself, or
no, you can't see it yourself.
Oh,
you can't ring your own bell. That sounds wrong.
Jeez, come on. I thought that's
Sorry. Okay, so I don't see the bell feature yet on your profile, but that could just be me. I'll double check.
Well, I mean, I wonder if it like I just got to get the mobile app and do the rest of this stuff because I don't have, I don't have my how do you pronounce my name. I don't have my video.
Yeah, it might also, there's a lot of like balls in the air to figure out like what are all the features, but it is slowly rolling out this bell feature.
Okay, so it's a relatively new thing then.
Yeah, it's only been up for a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yes. So let me look at your profile from another advantage point. That sounds so fancy. Clicking. Aha, I do have the bell. So not everyone has that feature yet. So I can turn on the bell on your profile, which, like I said, it comes down to touch points and visibility. I can only imagine the more you get active, the more you post, the more people love your content, the more visibility. It's just a ever generating machine. So, and then yes, the featured section it used to be called media files for anyone in the old school days of LinkedIn listening, but they now created what's called featured, and it gives you a much more beautiful UX experience of how you can click through to your course, to your podcast, to your calendar, whatever you want to position a client to take that first step to working with you, or your best lead generating opt-ins or items. So for example, you want to be in the hot seat?
Yeah, I don't mind.
You have a newsletter.
Yeah.
The best newsletter you've never heard about.
Yeah, the best newsletter.
Check that out.
I mean, you've never heard about it, Judy.
I never heard about it till today.
It is literally the best one.
You've got a great vibe here. I like what I can see in the pre-words, you get a chance to have a title and a description. But here's one thing I'm going to tell you to do. You want a quick edit right now, live?
Yeah, let's do it. And I've been editing the whole time.
Use the action verb in front of the best newsletter you've never heard about. So you've got to use the word either subscribe. The action the audience has to take to get, because I might just go, oh, that's nice. The best newsletter you've never heard about. And it's like almost giving me super clear instructions to click or subscribe or get the best newsletter you've never heard about.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. So when I click on that, I get to see something called view to click over. And I've started to you're getting the inside scoop. I've started to tell people, click the view button, like literally at the bottom where it says subscribe to the best newsletter you've never heard about, because you took fast action.
Yeah.
Just going to talk about what's on my mind whenever it's on my mind. Going to deliver in a way that is slightly rambling and possibly without a point. And then a down arrow that says click view to subscribe. You're just creating a trust funnel.
Okay, wait, hold on. So in the description, I don't know how to do a down arrow. Just like the V, like as a...
I right click on my computer and I can get access to get emojis.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can do that.
An arrow?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or you can steal it from my profile.
Like the blue one?
Yeah, you could use that.
Okay.
Unless you want professional black and white ones, I can send you those. Professional. I put air quotes around professional.
So, all right. So I do this down arrow and then what do I do?
Click view to start or click view to subscribe. How about that? We'll keep it similar language.
Let's do that and see what it looks like.
So there, you created what I call a slip and slide to subscribe. A slip and slide to subscribe.
And then...
Oh, I got to refresh. I hope everyone's enjoying this, by the way. We're like in the weeds right here.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can go to my profile and maybe the profile is even more different than when we recorded this. Maybe I finally added my voice pronunciation and I got a little video thing.
Yeah, so here's what we just did, and here's what's long lasting, no matter if you change this out or not. LinkedIn needs clear instructions. By the time we get to your profile, we've either Googled you, we've seen your post on LinkedIn, we've gotten access to you because somebody else posted about you, or you got featured in the news. All that PR and press could funnel traffic here to LinkedIn. And if you create a slip and slide to your offers, we just need the clarity. I'm ready to subscribe, but wait, where do I click? So LinkedIn, because we're not used to it, because the audience is new, anyone listening right now is like, wait, what is this featured? What is this media? What we're doing is just coaching and teaching with our words for how to come into our home. You open up the door and you're like, hey, when you come inside, here's where the bathroom is, here's where this is. So telling people and pointing arrows at buttons, it's just good. You're taking back your ownership on your own profile.
Now, here's the thing. My most active social media platform is Twitter. I probably post in, a couple times a day. Like, it's an easy platform for me. I can keep it short. I do photo, video, text, all that. Should I just like repost everything I'm posting on Twitter onto LinkedIn and then just like, because to me, it's almost like every single platform I'm on, I think about, well, this is how LinkedIn should do it, or this is how TikTok should do it. And then it just becomes overwhelming. And I'm like, I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, I feel the same. The moment I put on the blinders and I'm like, this is how Judy Fox should do it.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you think about your audience you've already built, just ignore what everyone tells you to do on LinkedIn. The only thing I will double down on is LinkedIn just wants to feel smart for following you, engaging with you. If they're being forced to answer a question that makes them look like they're admitting something that doesn't, like, did you not take care of your beard this week? And I didn't. Don't do that. Like, give them the positive framing of go out and rock your beard today kind of vibes. Like, that's what LinkedIn wants from just, you can almost post anything, but you'll make more sales and more business if you come from the positive framing.
Yeah, I just posted a YouTube video that was on the negative framing. I got lambasted. So
wait, you were pro negative framing or?
No, I'm not. I mean, I like when you create content for like 10 years, you kind of get bored and you're just like, well, you know what? I want to be a little more aggressive and
edgy.
Yeah, edgy, negative. Just kind of like rock the boat a little bit and see if it resonates with people. Some people hated it and some people are like, wow, this was a great wake up call. I'm going to get my shit together. So,
well, actually what's interesting is a wake up call is great on LinkedIn. That's still a positive framing. I don't know what the video was, so maybe I don't.
The video was very negative. I was calling people losers. So.
Oh, interesting.
It was not a.
Well, I've seen people, and I've done my own. I call it controlled controversy. I've heard that term where you can still find a way to. I have a couple posts that are coming out that are what I consider more controversial, where. Ooh, I don't even know if I want to say it, but because that's going to open up a whole can of worms if I start saying the drop mic phrases. I feel like I've had those drop mic phrases and then I explain myself where I'm like, here's what I mean by XYZ. If this is you're not doing LinkedIn correctly kind of language, or you might.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
This is kind of a segue into Twitter a little bit because Twitter is the platform I know. But I would imagine it kind of really does tap into, human elements. But I did this post. It was about wearing shoes indoors. And I have this idea that, like if you come into my house and I'm a shoes off house, like just wear your shoes. I don't care. I'll clean up after you. And then the opposite of that is, So that was the take. And I figured out a way to deliver that in a polite way. Mm-hmm. That was like, like you set up kind of like softening statements and things like that. And I'm like, you know what? Let's test Twitter's, kind of like this theory about having the drop the mic thing. And then I was like, it's rude if you ask people to take off shoes in your house. And it was just like kind of like a blunt statement that was, like very divisive apparently. And it just like completely blew up. It was like my most engaged tweet ever. And I got like ratioed and everything like that. People hated it.
Wait, when did you make that?
I don't know. How do I do an advanced search?
Oh, I don't know. Was it a while ago?
It was probably about a year. Like Oprah like retweeted it. She like screenshotted it. Or Oprah magazine, I should say.
That's cool. So then there's power in repurposing that on LinkedIn. I mean, you can repurpose things from everywhere. What I tell people is create the pillar and then move it over to LinkedIn. I will tell you, I worked on Marianne Williamson's account and she has like, I don't know how many followers on Twitter, but she would tweet and then I would repurpose it over to LinkedIn. If you're going to say it one place, you can say it other places.
Yeah. And I mean, like, obviously my content is not about, shoes in the house. I'm not like some kind of etiquette guy. So it was just me shit posting on Twitter, but it's just, that's kind of like the brand too. It's just like talk about random stuff here.
I think the limiting belief around LinkedIn, and like I just mentioned, like moving traffic from Twitter. So she has 2.8 million followers. And the problem, there's pros and cons, but what I really tell people is if you've got a pillar somewhere, we will want to consume it somewhere else. It's actually fine to take. I mean, I watch the brands, I watch the names, I watch the people. If you follow people who are doing what I call sustainability, where they're not trying to be maybe building out a huge social media team. But if you take a screenshot of your tweet, we're not going to be mad. If we liked your message and there's an audience there, share it over to LinkedIn and you get a chance to put your text with it. I see brands like the Female Lead do that, and they are constantly going viral, like constantly, but they're just sharing screenshots of tweets.
Yeah. You said you're making these mic drop posts. I'm expecting you to do it. I'm going to hold it to you. Our listeners, where can they find these?
Well, the easiest way to do it now is go to my profile and ring the bell, because then you'll see it. And then, of course, type in hashtag Fox Rocks, because I will always tag my posts with hashtag
And
Fox
how do you spell
Rocks.
your first name?
Judi.
There you go.
That is the key.
Judi Fox. Anywhere else that people should reach out to you?
I am enjoying Twitter a lot. I'm enjoying it now with Twitter Spaces because I really, really like audio rooms. So yeah, if you like audio rooms, I like talking. So I'm on Clubhouse.
And that's Judy _Fox.
Yeah, I know. I created my Twitter account before I realized whatever. We're going to not even talk about that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Judy, thanks for coming on the show and sharing your LinkedIn expertise. I feel like this 30 minutes hopefully it was just as helpful for our listeners as me, because my profile is now rocking and rolling, and I'm going to start posting all my tweets up on.
Yeah, I want to see, are you tracking any of the link clicks or do you have?
I don't care.
I
I do all this for fun. So it's just kind of like.
Awesome. I love it. Let's funify content.
There you go. All right, guys, this has been another e-commerce conversations. Hope you had as much fun as I did talking to Judy. Cheers and keep on growing.